Welcome, everybody. This is the January 14th meeting of the West Concord Advisory Committee. And we will start with attendance. So, Linda? Here. Barbara?
Here.
John?
I'm here.
Nicole?
Here.
And Allison? Here. And I'm here, Anna Feldwig. So we can start with public comment. So if any members of the public want to comment on something that's not on the agenda for no more than 2 minutes, please go ahead. Okay. So our main agenda item tonight is to hear from the developers of 166 Commonwealth Avenue.
Lindsay's on.
Oh, Lindsay? Lindsay's also here. There she is. Excellent. Okay. Okay, so maybe you could introduce yourselves and get started.
Start with you, Jonathan.
All right, I'm Jonathan Silverstein from Blattman, Bobrowski, Haverty, and Silverstein. I'm counsel for the applicant.
Matt Merva with Bowler. I'll be presenting the site plan tonight. We're the civil engineers and landscape architects for the project.
Tarek Bayad, I'm here with Kevin, the owner of the new gas station, hopefully.
And Axel Solberg, I'm the director with HFA's Franklin office, and I'll be speaking to the architectural design.
And I'm Kevin from Heaven, the applicant. Kevin, be here.
Thank you.
Great. So I can run through the site plan briefly. I requested to be able to share the screen. I think that went to the host. So, all right, let's give it a shot. Okay, perfect. So thank you for having us here tonight. We're excited to present our plans for the new and improved country store at the existing location of the currently vacant gas station property. I'll just run through kind of the existing conditions briefly to give you a sense of what's out there right now. There's just a little bit of a delay in my clicking here. So the parcel is outlined in black here. You can see along Com Ave, the existing building here on the site, the existing canopy, and then the storage tanks. And then it's basically paved for the entirety of the site. Our proposal is to add a new structure on the location of the existing structure, essentially about a 2,100 square foot country store with a new gas canopy, leaving the existing tanks in place where you see them, but providing some additional green space on site, some public amenity in the form of a connection to the Riverwalk here that you can see. The existing Riverwalk along the Neshoba is right up through here. So we'll have a sidewalk with some benches and seating and a robust planting plan for the area within that Neshoba Brook buffer in what's currently mostly paving in this zone. The site circulation, the entries and egresses remain primarily the same. We're cleaning up some of the circulation and some of the parking as part of the proposed site plan. I'll let Axel get into the architecture of the country store and the canopy. But from a site standpoint, we're increasing the pervious area, so we're decreasing the impervious on site. We're providing landscape consistent with what you would find in kind of a riverine buffer area. We actually got some good guidance from the town on a plan that they had previously seen for the site when it was going to be more of an industrial use. And they asked that we kind of mimic the planting, the landscape materials and spacing from that. So I'll breeze through the landscape plan here in a second. But we're providing EV charging stations. We are going to maintain the freestanding sign that's on site and just rehabilitate that, but the size and height will be as it currently exists. From a lighting standpoint, we are proposing lighting that will be dark sky compliant. We're trying to keep it as subdued as we can. It'll be full cutoff fixtures. You won't see the light sources. In initial discussions with the town, they asked that we try to minimize the glare, and that's what we've done. We're kind of providing what we feel is the minimum standard on the light levels to keep compliant with best practices. Utilities, there'll be new gas and underground electric services coming into the site. And we do plan to improve the stormwater function on site. Again, we've decreased the impervious area, but we're also improving the treatment to the maximum extent we can. We have a water quality unit, which I can show you on the drainage plan in a second, but that will clean the water, obviously, before it's discharging at the current outfall. Just these are the more detailed plans, a little tougher to read at this scale.
Wait, could you go back one
Oh,
slide?
sure.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
Is this white thing, is that a pathway, like a walking
that's
path?
an existing wall.
A
Actually.
wall?
Yeah, the path is this cream colored
Oh, okay.
sidewalk right here. So that will be kind of at the edge of the parking. You can see we've located a couple of seating areas here along that connection.
Zoom in,
I think I can. Let me-
that might be,
Thank
Is that
you.
the
Yeah, it's hard to-
retaining wall, you mean?
Oh, that's very helpful.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. this
yeah.
chart.
And is this, what's that there?
This is riprap. This is with the water quality unit I mentioned. I'll show you on the drainage plan, but it's essentially a drain manhole here that then discharges to this for some infiltration before it eventually gets piped to this location, and then the outfall to the brook is right here. So there's a couple of opportunities for infiltration that don't currently exist. That'll be an improvement to the stormwater system.
And we had preliminary conversations with conservation on that, but we're still going into further detail with that.
And we'll still be before them and for site plan review as well. So
Mhm.
what are the two things between the parking spaces?
this is the transformer location, the electrical service, and this is a trash enclosure here.
And what's the current square feet of that building?
The gross square footage according to the assessors is 3750, and the proposed is 2162.
So it's actually a renovation. I just want to clarify, it's not a new building. We're taking down some walls and extending, is that east?
Yeah, that's right.
Plan east of the building. So most of the exterior walls will be remained, which will be renovated.
So where does what's lost to
Yeah.
get to 2100?
Is that gonna be a second floor?
The second floor.
Let's go back to the screen here. So I went over the site plan in color. This is just the more detailed version of all the labels. This is what's been submitted. Yes.
Can you just touch on the crosswalk?
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
Oh my God, it's just.
This would be provided as part of this project, this crosswalk to this potential future open space at the intersection here. So we'd be making that improvement to a landing which connects to the current sidewalk. I understand there's some plans potentially for what's happening here, so.
And that gives you access to the memorial that you can kind of see on the half circle area that's existing.
right here.
It's called Kenny Dunn Square.
Anytime square, thank you.
What about over here? You mentioned that pathway. Is there a way to get from? Is there a crosswalk?
There's not an existing crosswalk there.
The sightlines aren't great there.
Yeah.
Safety.
Yeah.
But there's a park, pocket park. So I'm gonna kind of caution going too far on the conversation about crosswalks, because there are very specific requirements and standards that engineering, so like you cannot have a crosswalk that like dead ends into nothing on the other side. I know there's a park there, but it doesn't connect to a sidewalk. You would have to make other substantial improvements on the other side. So there's a lot of engineering standards that go into how and where a crosswalk can be located. So I know engineering has, spent a lot of time, and the community has spent a lot of time discussing, how Kenny Dunn Square should be improved. So I know that they are in and have been in conversation with engineering about how to coordinate some different improvements to leverage this project with other improvements to Kenny Dunn Square. So
So like that's great, that crosswalk, but how people aren't usually here? Like that's sort of an island, so you're usually over here on.
right. So
How do you get there?
Yeah, so I'm not, so engineering's looking at different, options for modifying this corner so that the crosswalk can go here and then maybe a crosswalk to
Yeah,
this
exactly.
side. So right now, you have a crosswalk here and it comes to this sidewalk. You couldn't put a crosswalk here because you can't have a crosswalk into a driveway. So there's going to be a lot of conversation about these offsite improvements. So I kind of really want to focus on, on the site and what they're proposing. But just so you know,
Thank you.
there is a lot of conversations happening about, offsite improvements
Yeah,
and leveraging,
and if
all
this
of
is
the
very
project.
appealing, we're gonna have more people trying to get there, so obviously the
Yeah.
safety part
Yeah.
naturally comes up in the conversation, right?
And obviously we're interested in doing what we can based on what the town wants us to do. So, we're gonna take our guidance, obviously, from the town. I did want to also mention where we're gonna completely reconstruct the sidewalk along our frontage, which can use it.
Mm-hmm.
So
How about the retaining wall? Is that salvage? Is that in good shape?
along the river, you had a structural look at that, didn't you?
Yeah, Bowler, John Cusick, who's the civil, has been in discussions with conservation and Elizabeth and DPW, and there's a lot of moving parts to understand how stormwater is going to discharge, and the retaining wall is part of that conversation.
Okay.
To public comment, or how do you
We'll wait
At the
until-
end.
Yeah. Not the very end, but when you're done.
Okay.
So the grading and drainage plan just highlights some of the water quality treatments that I just mentioned, which kind of focus on collecting water in the direction it's already flowing, but stopping it here where my arrow is for that water quality treatment chamber before it's getting out to the Neshoba. So that's something we'll be working with with conservation on as well, but that is part of the proposal. And then on the landscape, again, we're providing a pretty robust approach to the planting here, which I'll just zoom in on. But this has a variety of species, both shade trees, understory, ground cover, that will help to enhance that area, provide some buffer to the river and create a pleasant space to walk through there as well. So we've got a full plant schedule that was part of the submission.
Natives?
Yes,
That's right.
And so the two landscape islands up front.
Yes, these are new, right? This is paved currently, so we are providing additional landscape around that sign and then at buffering some of the parking from the adjacent property here as well. And then,
So if I can.
Yes.
Just interject, sorry. So, oh, if you go back, so this line right here is the 200-foot riverfront line. So, this whole site will be reviewed by Natural Resources Commission as part of their review. And then, it'll go through, planning board and, Board of Appeals as well. It's the gas station is permitted in this zone district by special permit. It is a legal, non-conforming use. It's been there before we even had special permits, but so they'll be going through that process with the planning board for a recommendation to the Board of Appeals.
What will be on either side of that landscaping to separate I think there's like concrete barriers there right now, which are quite, whatever, they're just
Jersey
not
barriers.
attractive.
Jersey barriers,
Yeah, what are they?
Oh, no, they're not even concrete, they're plastic. I think.
Oh, plastic,
Yeah.
okay.
Perfect.
right, so we are proposing a curb in the island here. That's about all we can do on our side. You can see that those barriers are on the other property, on the adjacent property.
Okay.
So, there won't be cars driving through our landscape island at that point, but these aren't on our property to deal with. It's a little easier to see on the aerial what's happening at that edge. So there are some curb stops along here that are just off property. So that'll continue to be the barrier. But we are widening out this area to create some landscape zone, as you can see here.
Have you talked to them? The owners?
We have,
They're
Yeah.
really nice.
yeah, they're wonderful.
And so you're anticipating people just walking freely through that whole area if there aren't trees, because it's not a wall, right?
It's not a wall.
It'll be less sort of porous than it is today, right? With that landscape island there, but
Right.
there still will be the ability to walk between the properties, yes. And then we've also provided a lighting plan with a description of the fixture types on the schedule here, and then illustrations of what those fixtures are on a subsequent page here. So again, it's full cutoff. The taller light poles are this Cobra head fixture, kind of a sleek fixture, just sort of disappears into the landscape, not really noticeable. These are the light fixtures that would illuminate the signs on the building, so indirect sign lighting. These are the lights on the canopy structure that would provide the indirect light onto the sign on the canopy. Axel will get into that in a second. And then we have some wall pack sconce units positioned along the edges of the building to create some additional light at the perimeter along the sidewalk. So with that, we can get into questions, or I can turn it over to Axel to start going through some of the architectural.
I don't know who would answer this question, but just the overall, did you call it a coffee shop or cafe? Coffee shop?
Country store.
Country store, excuse me.
Yes.
Country store, like what is the vision for that? The store itself, like
I think
what
that's a
type-
great segue.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Axel's, that's perfect.
You mean exterior wise or the customer experience,
like the whole thing, inside and out.
Yeah, well, perfect segue. Let's roll. You could probably skip past the first couple of codes.
Yeah, you just tell me when.
So here's the overall concept design. This is the basis of intent for the country store brand here. It's very similar to what we're all used to seeing in sort of these small, general goods merchandise stores. You have the large front of house sales floor with the freezers in the back and the back of house area to facilitate utilities and services. And then of course we have an office and all of the necessities that are integral to running a business like this. The configuration of the building itself and the design is entirely functionally driven. So there's really no superfluous design moves made in the floor plan. But if we go to the next page, Matt, this is really kind of, I think, where we'll start to get into what the experience feels like here. So when we started looking at this site, we actually found that the West Concord design guidelines already enjoy a nice marriage to the underlying concept design that the Imperial Country Store brand already has. So
this is, I'm not familiar with it. This is a chain of.
We have two. We're in the process of.
Yeah.
We're going through this process right now for 3 others.
Okay.
We've had one for about 10 years.
Where's that located?
In Mendon, Massachusetts.
Okay.
But so just to talk a little bit about the materials palettes, and again, we referenced the West Concord design guidelines very heavily throughout the concept design here. So as we were putting this together, we found that a lot of the base design intent already sort of harmoniously aligned with those guidelines. Just in terms of the scale of the massing here, the guidelines kind of encourage that single story to 2-story proportion relative to the adjacent context. So here we're actually kind of right aligned with the existing abutting property. And while we're not showing 2 full stories, those clerestory windows that you see above the canopy are actually truly functional. The interior of the store is well known for sort of an eclectic collection of goods and display of fun things. So aside from providing natural daylight to illuminate those displays, that actually also adds to the experience of the sales floor itself and for the customers and the employees working there. The proportion of the windows that you see around the ground floor, we took a hard look at all of the kind of sales display areas along the downtown area here and in the village, and so we drew direct inspiration from that with the spacing of the mullions to create the simulated divided lights that you'd find more in the original buildings of the early 1900s and 1800s, but of course we're using modern storefront systems. We also found that the base stone band, which we employ as for a number of reasons, it establishes some longevity and resilience against snow and ice and the New England weather. But we also found that already aligned nicely with the design guidelines requirements for the storefront window patterns to have an elevated sill up above sidewalk to further blend and complement what you already find existing downtown Concord. Now, the previous building that's existing on site, I should mention, is very similar in its overall scale and massing, but the pavement goes right up to the foundation of the building. So to sort of add on to what Matt was talking about in terms of the improvement to the site that we're making, we made a conscious effort to try and further establish a direct connection for the pedestrian to invite them into this property, to sort of recreate a little bit more of what that downtown Concord sidewalk vibe has going on. And so that's kind of why we included this continuous arcade and canopy supported by a number of columns around the building, which are all laid out in proportions and spacings kind of relevant to the classical orders that are so prevalent in Concord. All of those spaces and rectangular proportions are all derived from the golden section and classical orders. Nerds like me in architecture school, we really enjoy talking about that stuff. So if I go too far into numbers, please cut me off. But the material palette also, we took a look at what the underlying concept design intent of the brand has, and then we looked at the adjacent materials in the context of the West Concord Village, and the guidelines actually just kind of reinforced our thinking in terms of the material palette here, where we're using natural wood cladding, we're using metal roof and a standing seam metal roof, both materials strongly encouraged by the guidelines. And the color palette that you see here is just designed to reinforce the natural hue of those natural materials, which we're both using to clad the building and construct it as well. So in terms of the architectural design for a convenience store, this is about as honest as you can get. There's really no superfluous or fake aesthetic frills here designed for, no reason. Everything that you see here is functionally driven and proportionally aligned to create a more human scale at the ground level. And then the added height that you see above the clerestory windows is specifically there for a number of reasons, but probably the most important of which aligns directly with the guidelines' desire to conceal rooftop equipment. And that's also one of the main reasons why we don't have the gable roof here. We know that Concord encourages gable and allows flat roofs too. There's many precedents for that in the area. But a gable roof here would reduce the amount of usable interior area and also make it a little bit less efficient in terms of how we go about arranging the mechanical equipment and rooftop equipment for a building on a site that's as tight as this one.
I just want everybody to know, it's actually looks even better on a laptop instead of on this TV. It's not the best TV, so.
So is that, sorry, is that wood up there on the, above those windows?
Yes, it's all natural wood trim.
Okay. And then the siding is, sorry if you said this, is that vinyl?
Wood clapboards.
Wood clapboard, it is, okay, sorry.
So can I ask a couple of questions? Do you want, Anna?
No.
So one, going back to the lighting, I find it incredibly uninspiring given the building. And at least for the parking lot lights, there is a standard kind of like street light along Commonwealth Ave. I don't know if that can be, carried over into the project site. It might also help, make that transition.
Like the gooseneck,
What was that?
is
Yeah.
it sort of this gooseneck right here?
Yep.
Awesome.
My personal opinion on the wall packs are hideous. So this elevation doesn't show the wall packs that were shown on the lighting plan.
So to clarify, those are only at the back of house, those wall packs, just in the alleyway to provide the illumination there, where it's not a public facing facade. So the sconces utilized here, Matt, we might not have actually had these on the sheet, but these are more of your gas lantern type of wall sconces, which are designed to further, complement the.
Okay, so
Comment noted, I think there might be
Yeah.
a discrepancy
Yeah,
between
if
the.
I were looking at this, you currently have no lighting on this side. Because I'm looking at the
It would be
elevation.
under the roof.
So what we've done in our Upton store on the overhang is we've done just recessed lighting.
Okay, up in the roof. Okay,
Yeah,
so all of
it's
that
illuminated
needs to
from
be
above. Yep.
included.
Yep.
Your what you're calling back of house, visually from the street, you will see this.
We'll
So,
replace it with sconces.
and that's where my next question comes. So this parapet, I'm gonna call it, is that the correct term?
Yep.
Woo. Does that extend all the way around the back as well?
No,
It's only on three
Okay.
sides.
So I would
yeah.
recommend that you walk Commonwealth Ave and think, because you're going to see that, and
When you're at the bakery.
yeah, it'll be just as well. From abutting properties, it's kind of hard, but from the public realm, I mean, you will see that walking down Comm Ave,
You have a
the
little
whole
fire.
entire length. So
And how you enter the bakery is that alley.
yeah,
Right
so
there.
yeah, so that is how you get to the bakery, as you go down the alley. So
I'll be right there. No.
so just a few things to think about.
It's good comments, thank you.
But from a, and this was something that they had mentioned at staff input meetings, is that this is a full service gas station. So if you're, if everybody's,
So a little bit of auto repair as well?
no,
No, okay,
but
just gas.
So right now there are 4 repair days, but those are gonna be eliminated.
but it's a full attendant gas station.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so we don't have to pump ourselves.
yeah, so they wash your windows, they pump your gas and
Yeah.
they do it whether it's snowing or raining or it's 100 degrees out. Like you don't pump your own gas at all. It's not an option to do that.
And I don't know, like, you're gonna finish with the architecture. I said questions about like what type of you know, again, what type of store, what type of things would I buy in there? Are we buying chips and like I would run into, you know, 7-Eleven type of thing or?
You would
what-
buy all kinds of goods that you could buy in the 1960s and 1950s. Like if you wanted, like, if you grew up with a tangy taffy popcorn, like we've gone out and sourced it and found it. We have wind up tin toys and it's a very, do you have any pictures of them inside? I mean, we have.
I need to bring on.
There's
Yeah,
some online, I know,
store.
We could,
Yeah.
Just we're good, we're 5 and 10.
So I was just thinking,
Jonathan,
Like-
On Main Street?
Yeah,
Yeah.
On
it is missed dearly.
yeah, I was
Dear.
thinking that could
So,
replace some of
This
the.
store would have a hardware department in it.
Mm.
Screws, nuts, bolts, extension cords, a little set of screwdrivers, parts for your screen door, parts for your windows. If you had screens on your house, and there's a little clip there where you pull the screens in to pull it up. The clips get broken. There's a whole section of those. There's like weatherproofing that would go around your door or your window.
Okay.
There's code based. There's WD-40. There's a whole collection of wind up tin toys that would have been made like in Japan or China in the 1960s or early 1970s. There's a little talking R2D2. There's trains that go around the inside. It's kind of nostalgic.
Okay, so
Um,
a place kids would want to hang out when they're 13.
They would love it. And there are a lot of
My
pictures
daughter.
online. If you were to Google
pull
Imperial
up.
Country Store Imperial Gas, there are a lot of pictures online. And
Okay.
people, there's a zoo down the street from the Mendon store, and people plan to go to the zoo an hour and a half earlier. They spend an hour in this little store that's like as big as this room, just looking around.
One of the things we had mentioned during a staff meeting was also reaching out to the the Chamber of Commerce and you know, since we lost Revolutionary Concord,
Marie.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, having different
Art supply,
Concord
puzzles.
things,
Yeah.
and
So we sell local honey, local mittens and gloves, scarves,
Mm.
made with sheep and from llama.
So there is a local element to it.
There's a whole-
Locally crafted or.
Anything that we can buy local. We own a small pick your own blueberry farm, 7 acres. We have 2,800 plants and we pick our own blueberries and sell the blueberries there. Depending how the season goes, we kill it with tomatoes.
And are you gonna talk about food? Do you sell food and other produce?
We sell kind of snacks, like we sell what we can source locally. What we haven't done yet is we live on a ranch and we've had animals. We just started raising cattle. So we just had our first 7 babies born about a year ago. And we have 14 pregnant right now. And at some point, we'll look to sell that meat.
Hmm.
Um,
So if there's
That
food in
was-
there, it has a little bit more of a natural, healthy bent to it, it sounds like. I mean, there's some candy too.
Yeah.
But
Well, there's a lot of older type candy, like a Waco bar. I don't know. I can't think of the names of them, but
yeah,
sugar sweets.
like it looks like I can. Yeah.
okay.
go ahead, sorry.
So as far as the architecture goes, the exterior, so drainage from the roof is accommodated by gutters and downspouts, which lines up well too with section 4.9 from the guidelines.
So
I already talked about the
I
concealed
remember one
rooftops,
other
but-
question, and so what this graphic doesn't show is, you know, are you proposing wheel stops here?
It's a curb.
Yeah, that sidewalk is the wheel stop.
And there is, I mean, the.
It's raised, it looks
curb is,
like-
from-
It's raised up, it's just a little
Okay,
washed out.
so is that, okay.
Yeah.
So what I don't is a lot of elevations and the architectural drawings look great.
Uh-huh.
It gets built and they find out, oh, somebody, is gonna drive through the window and they put the
Mhm.
ugly bollards in front. So I just want to make sure that
We learned the hard way.
no bollards.
We've had a lot of cars drive through properties of ours, unfortunately.
So is the curb, is that all that's there? There's not gonna be bollards proposed?
No,
No.
the sidewalk should be high enough that we don't
Oh,
need the
okay.
bollards there.
Okay,
And
It'll act like the curbs on the other side,
okay.
that wall of curbs that they had on the other property. It would be like that.
And it is set there, the edge of curb is set away from the base of the columns, according to the dimensions outlined in the design.
So
guidelines.
the darker line
Yep.
here is the 6-inch curb.
Okay, great.
Are the columns able to withstand a car?
Maybe a slight tap, but if you
Tap.
drive into it at 30 miles an hour, that's not.
The site's also constrained as well, so it's not, you don't have long runs. So that's also something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We kind of already discussed the back side of the building. That's the next one, Matt. So, the side facing north towards the river. So this is basically a three-sided building, because of the way the sales floor is configured. So, every public facing facade and the part of the building which immediately, encloses the sales floor on the inside does have windows, access points, and of course all of the illumination that we can add. Then what you're seeing here is the side facing, the adjacent bakery in the alley. So we already talked about the parapets there, so that comment is noted. And what's not rendered included here are the wall packs that would also be here just for code required illumination level.
So I do know the back of the building is basically at the property line.
That's correct, it's
Roughly.
pretty close.
So in this image, will your downspouts go directly to subsurface?
They can.
I think that's
I believe
what,
that's what's shown.
that's what we have
I think
on
that's
the
what they're
drainage
Okay.
plan.
Okay, so the elevation doesn't. show
Collecting
that.
those leaders,
it's not
they
gonna shed
go
over
into
them.
grade at that point.
So if you go back to the.
Yep.
um,
Sorry, bouncing around
Yeah,
here.
that's okay. So these show the stormwater just coming out onto the pavement, and
Right.
that's not
Yeah,
something.
right.
But yeah, in the submission plans, which will update the renderings.
In reality,
We'll
they actually
reconcile.
they'll go into the ground
Yep.
to, okay, thank you.
So I can tell, this is the current, is that canopy the same size as the current one? I have a hard time with dimensions.
A little smaller here. Maybe a little smaller.
And the alignment's very different.
Yeah, the alignment is different.
Yeah, and what they mistakenly said before was when they said the building was 3570 or 3750, and they said we took off the second floor. We not only took off the second floor, we shrunk the building because we couldn't get the second gas run in the sidewalks. We pulled the building back.
Hmm.
So the footprint is different.
Yeah. so
We
the
actually
front goes
pulled the
back.
front wall back and made the first floor smaller.
Yeah.
To be able to get that sidewalk and stuff there, if you recall.
Yeah.
If we went back to the beginning.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand the scale, because like
Sure.
this thing is so big, and if the building is smaller than that, I'm just trying to understand like the relationship between.
We have
So
more
we're
rendering.
changing the height there too by bringing it up in that,
It's small.
yeah.
Yeah, the canopies are about the same size.
Matt, when you go to the second to last page of the architectural presentation, because that shows a little bit more of a focus on the canopy and how it relates to the existing to the proposed building. So the perspective renderings kind of obviously skew it a little bit, but as you can see here, I mean, the canopy is nicely proportioned relative to the proposed structure.
Okay, yeah, that's helpful, because
And the canopy is in a completely different
Different
spot.
place.
So it's now, right now, it's out towards the street, more away from the building at an angle.
yeah.
And so now
Okay.
with.
Yeah, I had to,
the-
it's hard to
yeah.
remember what it
And-
looks like. That's why I pulled this up
Yeah.
now, like, ugh.
And that was also
Right.
that was also a very intentional move to align with the guidelines encouraging of the canopies sort of not being the first thing that you see, not coming between you and the architecture. So,
Yeah.
by aligning it off to the side, we're actually bringing that architectural experience closer to the street, and the brand as well. And hopefully that also creates more of an inviting, appeal to pedestrians.
Mm-hmm. So Elizabeth, that light that you mentioned, that we already have one there.
Yes, along the sidewalk.
Are you suggesting that they add another one or?
No, they have
Is in the
like
parking lot.
3 or 4 in will be in their parking area.
Okay. Are you suggesting those kind, you mean?
Is possibility, or something that complements it,
Okay,
not going to something that's so incredibly modern.
right,
Mm.
What
right,
they showed.
yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be that exact
Yeah, but I hear you, to be
fixture, but
in the same style as,
But the goosenecks, we do have the goosenecks illuminating the signage to create more of that old country kind of vibe, right? And then the gas station canopy lights are also externally illuminating the signs. So you shouldn't really, we're not proposing any of that kind of neon
so
stuff or glow or anything like
that's
that.
those right there.
Mhm. About the finer details of proportional scaling of wood trim to window sizes and mullion spacing if we want to get that far into the weeds, but
I'm sorry, did you say that that sign is going to remain? And
It's gonna look different, but the proportion of the
Proportions,
sign,
and will it, sorry, be in that same location?
I think so, yeah.
And we can propose a rendering on it or some,
Yeah,
uh,
you'll
we'll have
need,
to, yeah.
and as far as signage, before you apply, you'll want to meet with myself and the building commissioner to go over the sign bylaw and the requirements. Because I don't know if that standing sign is, a non-conforming sign, and so you may need to just loop in your signage as part of your whole application to the Board of Appeals. So we can have that. We've, we'll also need to talk about, like what type of signage, if any, you, may have on the gas pumps themselves, because that all gets calculated into, your number of signs that you have.
As in like the canopy or the actual dispensers?
The actual dispensers. So, that's something that, the town has dealt with. Banks are one of the worst offenders when it comes to, signage. They put, signage on everything, and, so the town just went through that with a new bank. The bank had a total, once you added up all the little signs, had a total of something like 16 different signs. And so they had to, take a few, there were like 6 signs on the drive up ATM. So, yeah, so that's something that we can talk a little bit more about with the building commissioner.
So,
Okay.
I was gonna just ask 2 general questions. So the back side of the building. So people will see that as they go to those stores and to Shoba Bakery.
Yeah, can you click on the top of that?
Could some-
The window, yeah.
Yeah, could something be done to sort of add just visual interest or decoration, or like a continuation of maybe
Yeah.
Purple trim pilasters or something like that, just
Yeah, or like
break down the
maybe-
scale.
Yeah, or like a visual, so it looks like you've got the canopy coming there, even if you don't have a full canopy.
That'd be on the property line.
Yeah, that would infringe.
Exactly, like if we came out a foot there, we'd be on that property line.
Are you talking about some kind of band though,
Yeah.
that just kind of,
Just breaks it up, so it doesn't look like
Yeah, and maybe a couple of vertical trim pilasters
Yeah,
to
something.
Or-
break
And
the
if we
edge
carried
a
it
little bit
further,
further.
Yeah.
I know that was another suggestion,
Yeah.
so.
And the other thing I was wondering about is where we lost all the trees along the main street, and we're looking for, opportunities to put some back. So I wonder, you have quite a long stretch where it's not an area that people are gonna drive through in the front.
They've added the parking spaces, I
In the
guess.
front.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like along the sidewalk,
Yeah,
so
pretty tight in there.
the biggest thing for that is the actual truck for the
the
fueling.
gas.
Yeah, so to be able to maneuver the site, it's as is already very constrained. So if we generated more green area, I'm not sure we'll be able to achieve
Mm.
rotation on the site.
Well, I
Could I
guess
try to-
unless that, yeah, I know this is beyond the scope of the meeting, but there is talk of changing Kenny Dunn's traffic flow, so it's more like a T instead of a V. And again, this is beyond my pay grade and, but there was talk of sort of giving this property a little more green space. Do you know what I'm referring to?
Yeah, DPW shared
Right,
with us,
so,
so-
yeah, they, engineering did share that plan, so it wouldn't materially change the layout of this site. What it would do is it would move the sidewalk and it would create a much bigger green space
So that's where a tree could go.
on,
Yeah.
and on basically what is town land.
Right,
So that's how that would work.
So that
Like
might,
when the DPW plans were shared with us, we did send it out to contractors to kind of try to understand that. We just haven't heard back from them on that, but once we hear back from them, we'll definitely be responding on that.
But this layout does conform to the parking requirements, correct? Yeah, so. This will be one project not asking for relief from parking.
yeah.
We had
where we
looked
could-
at,
sorry, I was just gonna say where we could carve away paved area, we did try to do that and just leave what was needed for the circulation. So that's why we're able to get some landscape in here and in here. You know, and if something happens here and we can squeeze something in with that realignment, we'll look at it as we get, you know, further coordinated with DPW there. Sorry to be interrupting.
oh, no. I was just saying on the parking, we had looked at trying to do more with the site. It's a great site for a couple residential units. Obviously, I'm familiar with the previous proposal, which was more than a couple residential units. But it's just, it's tight and it's tighter than its size because of its configuration and the access. So rather than try to put too much in there, the decision was made to just stick with the base elements of the store and the gas. Driving or biking by there every day, I'm excited to see something
Oh.
other than what's there.
Yeah.
Can only go up from here.
It's a little.
So, can we do an impromptu public comment?
Yes.
Okay, let's. Does anyone from the public want to comment or ask questions? Yes,
I have a few questions. So I'm Vicky Alani, Commonwealth Avenue, so I'm right on the corner. I see this quite often. I have several questions. Just one, the existing tanks are in good shape. They don't need to be replaced. There's no leaking, there's nothing like that.
Will
So
be completely new tanks.
they're new tanks.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're removing the existing. tank.
Same location.
Same location. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, those
There's no
tanks,
way those tanks
you wouldn't
are still
keep-
usable. I do want to follow up on the sidewalk edge a little bit, if we could go back to that site plan. Because what happens today, frankly, is, if you don't mind, it's like the world ends like right about here for coming West Concord. There's a light post, the gooseneck light that sort of ends here, the trees end here. But it does feel like you have so much frontage that this is a really important corner for West Concord. It's like,
Very.
we've got the park across here, we have Kenny Dunn Square, a lot happens here, and more will happen when MCI goes in. And so it feels like it's an opportunity to do some continuity here to bring West Concord feeling into the site, whether it's a couple more of those gooseneck lamps. I'll tell you this is one of the darkest corners for people walking from the train. It is
Oh, yeah.
dangerous. Like if you come here at 6 p.m. coming home from work and it's icy, you're going down right here. And so I would, just ask you to look at, like, if we added a couple more goosenecks here and make it lit so that it feels like you're part of West Concord and
Yeah.
not the end of the world. I think that would go a long way, making this corner feel really wonderful.
We
So
had
that's
talked previously about this being kind of a gateway to West
Yeah.
Concord.
Yeah. I
Sorry
think
to
that would
be-
help. No, that would help a lot.
And I like that because they put the hanging flower basket.
Yes.
When you put
And
the-
it really
the
makes a
flags,
huge difference to the town.
Flags
It's
go
beautiful.
there every
Yeah,
holiday. We
good
like
idea.
our holidays in Concord. So, you'll get flags and things happening there. The other question I have is on the location of the transformer and the trash, feels like it's right along the pedestrian sidewalk connection to the train with no buffer, and it doesn't feel like, could there be a way to? I don't know if there's another way to, okay, so there's nothing, thank you.
But I'll explain
Yeah.
why. So the location for the transformer,
Is it exactly?
it has to do with, how the power comes in from this direction and comes in that direction.
Yeah.
Where, you wouldn't want to put the transformer here, and you can't put it here based on where
Yeah. no, I was
existing
thinking-
things happen.
Yeah, I was thinking more or less, like, could it go here and put parking here instead? So I just was trying to think, like, is this really the right pedestrian moment for that stuff? But if it's the right place for the utility, it is what it is. Just to throw it out there, that's a really beautiful park you're making over
Yeah.
here.
Mhm.
And it's got trash and transformer right next to it. We could have parking and be just better. Like
Will there be a wall around the trash?
Yeah, so they have really nice, almost like green slats that you put into fencing now that ties into the green area very nice. And I could share some pictures that we've done on other properties with the green slats that completely enclose an area.
It's more like an evergreen.
Yeah.
They actually have like an evergreen that you can slide down, and it actually looks like hues or something. There's a lot of different things you can do. There's another wrap you can do it. It looks like ivy. So we can certainly screen them.
And then we are providing, some good sized shrubs.
Right, okay.
Landscape
Oh, that's
around that area as well. So it only shows up as a green patch on this plan.
Right,
But
right.
there's a little more detail to it, and that will fill out and hopefully hide some of that,
Mhm.
Great.
So-
mechanics.
So, one of the other items, and we can show you other examples, of other projects, just directly across the street. Most of the time, the planning board and the Board of Appeals look to having like more of a natural fencing around, and not chain link with, plastic slats. Across the street did it that way. The new Cross Point on Elm Street, their trash enclosure is, it's a pressure treated wood that weathers and,
But you have
turns
information
out.
to get.
Yeah, we'll work internally with you on that one.
I was also the architect for that project.
Yeah,
So
right.
yeah, we have
Yeah.
drawings still.
But to that pedestrian field, we may, talk with CMLP, again about the transformer location, but, because I will also ask them about, whether they're gonna require bollards
Yeah.
around it.
Yep,
Yep, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no worries, no, it was good. On the crosswalk, I don't know if there's on your side of that crosswalk, if that's going to have an ADA. Cause it looks like it is on this side, but I couldn't see if there's room on the other side to get wheelchair access onto that side.
And-
Yeah, we gotta
But it-
redo that whole side.
Yeah, so there
Yeah.
will be, okay, so
Yeah.
that will show up there. Hours, wanted to just talk about what hours you'll be open,
I don't know that we've talked about hours yet.
cause it's a very residential.
We'd have to work that out with the town.
The town does not have any bylaws, stating that you can only be open, from here to here during, the site plan in the permitting discussion. Will be a conversation about, what are your hours as it relates to the lighting,
Mhm.
lighting, minimal safety lighting when you're closed. And then, when basically an hour after, like, you close and an hour later, your last employee leaves after cleaning up, the lights can be on timers or, so that conversation happens during the permitting when you know what your hours are going to be.
And then finally, I'm gonna tell you, we're thrilled to have you in the neighborhood. And if there's a way to bring ice cream to the neighborhood, we are dying to have it. Since we had a couple close and we will be there after work almost every day. So.
You
Do you
can
sell
work,
coffee?
you can work with Bedford Farms and they can have,
Yeah.
they have
Oh
their
my God,
store at
that's
Zero
lovely.
Depot.
Yeah.
You could have a satellite
That would be
Bedford
dreamy.
Farms, packaged ice cream.
I know the three of us would be there.
Do you sell coffee?
We don't.
No.
Like, we have a few coffee shops, we just have lost ice cream.
And there's no
And the
like,
drawback.
there's no
Yeah.
like tables that you would
There's
go,
no
it's not
tables.
intended to be like a
It's not a
hangout type of
restaurant.
place in any way.
You could go sit on a bench.
Are there tables in this green space though? Are there picnic tables?
There could be,
No.
there could be tables outside.
Right now, we're just showing benches right now.
I know Delia had some concerns about tables or seating too close to the water, so.
Mm.
Our original concept had 3 or 4 picnic tables that from the comment we eliminated.
Oh, so Neshoba Brook has seating outside, so. Right.
They
by
do
the
temporary picnic tables that they move around.
Sorry.
They have a
Yeah.
fence.
I think it's something that we'll
They
still
are?
talk about and talk with the Natural Resources Commission.
Okay.
I really like your point about bringing the hanging back flower baskets and like that would really include this as part of West Concord and really.
I don't
way.
think
Yes,
there's-
we can do with that, with some
Absolutely.
more lights there.
Yeah,
The other thing
we've
too,
added at least one along there. We're showing one here.
We'll try to
It
do
feels
one
very
by the
good
river
with
walk.
If we can do another one here,
Yeah, I agree.
maybe that would be nice.
And the town puts up the flags and the flowers and they water them, so. They're just moving, putting it up.
Is there a spec you think I can get from DPW on that?
It would be from CMLP.
CMLP.
Yeah, because I think like for this one, it may be a double. So you would have, one coming out for the sidewalk and one coming on the other side for your parking lot. But I can get that for you.
Yeah.
Right,
Just so we could add it to the photometric plan.
Yeah.
So Jean and Jeff, I don't know what order you raised your hands, but let's say
Jean went
Jean
first.
first. Okay.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah.
You're muted.
you're muted.
Hi, Jean Easterday, 48 Maple Street. I live right around the corner, and I think this is wonderful. So thank you for bringing this to our neighborhood. I joined a little bit late, so I might have missed this, but when I think about parking, it looks like you maybe have 5 or 7 parking spaces. And I'm curious how many employees you'll have, where the employees park.
We have 11.
so we've got 11 spaces, actually. There's
Oh, 11 spaces. Okay, sorry. Okay.
3 here, 4 here, 1, and then another 3 here. And these are our EV spaces right here.
Okay. And then how many employees will you have?
It would never be more than 3.
Okay, so out of
It
the
would
11,
either be 2 or 3. There's an attendant pumping gas all day long. And then there's someone on the register. And then a lot of times during the day, there might be someone there taking orders and filling shelves and doing things.
okay, great. And I'm just curious, do you need the EV spots or could they just be regular spots for people? Because I don't know that people would be plugging in for a long period of time there. But maybe that's an agreement you have with the town. I just feel like you might need more parking spaces if people are going to go there and spend some time there.
So I would think that anyone could park there.
Oh, all right. It says only, so.
Yeah, I'm not, so it's my understanding but I think there's now a requirement that there be EV charging stations. It's a state.
It's the stretch energy.
Yeah, it's the stretch energy code. So they are required to have them. And then I'm not sure if there's a requirement that they only EV cars park there. I don't.
I believe it's usually, I don't know if you guys
I don't
deal
know.
with like charge point or usually there's a vendor that They say that if you stay there for more than 2 hours and you're not charging, then you get an hourly charge, but I don't think it ever actually happens.
But
Okay.
that's something we'll find out.
Okay, it's just parking's at a minimum in this area, and we do have EV parking at Rideout. So just was trying to hope to get you a few more spaces there. But thank you, and I also second the ice cream.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Jeff?
Thanks. One comment on that eastern wall, the blank wall facing Neshoba Brook Bakery. That screams out mural to me. And I wonder if in the concept you could plan around creating a palette for a mural. Maybe that saves you a little on siding. And you could work with our West Concord Cultural District Commission to commission an artist to paint a mural there. I think that would really add to the funkiness of that alley. The second question is, I guess, for the committee members or for Elizabeth. Elizabeth, you mentioned that the previous use was non-conforming in some way. That
Yeah.
My question is, does that carry through? How does that carry through under new ownership and kind of a whole new concept here?
So it is a gas station. It has always been a gas station. And it was there currently. The zoning bylaw for this district requires a special permit for an auto service station. So they could either, it kind of really, it doesn't matter the special permit process they go through, whether they go through as a legal non-conforming use, which they can continue that legal non-conforming use. They are changing it, so it would trigger a special permit through the Board of Appeals to modify that use, or they just go through the Board of Appeals for a new gas station. It's a special permit either way, so it doesn't it doesn't materially change the permitting process or the project. Does that answer your question, Jeff?
Yeah. Thank you. I think broadly for West Concord planning, the idea of MCI up around Route 2 being more of our vehicle-centric development, hopefully not a sea of parking lots and big box stores up there in the future, but and West Concord leaning in the direction of sort of less vehicle-centric has always been exciting to me. But a lot of people still need gasoline. This is it's an attractive building. It's an interesting concept. I think adding a mural to the back would add to the whole concept as well.
Very well.
No, nobody else has their hand raised.
All right.
Hey,
Oh,
Anna.
oh, John.
Yeah. I'm so WCAC member. I mainly just want to express positive feedback on this. I think it does a lot of things that we appreciate. Permeable space, green space, the walking path, alignment with the design guidelines. I actually think the EV chargers, even if they're required, I think is also aligned with a lot of our aspects of our mission. And then the components of sort of the stores that we've lost, the ice cream and the five and dime, if we can incorporate some of those elements, it sounds like that's in the conversation. I want to echo if there's one point of feedback that I want to echo most, it's the lighting. I think it's almost like a no-brainer that because the lighting posts on Com Ave that are there were the subject of some careful design in a recent project, a complete streets project. And so I think it's like a no-brainer actually that we replicate the lighting that was just installed there and bring it all the way down wherever there's new lighting here. I think that I want to just amplify that. And then I also agree with all the points about kind of wrapping the aesthetic around the back, because even though it is in the back, that is a public space that's access. But overall, I'm very positive on this, and I feel like feel like the town has been heard on this, so I appreciate it.
I think we agree, guys, so we should
Yeah, we can
not,
do
we
that.
should not do similar to the gooseneck, we should just find the same fixture and just do.
We're looking at it here. It's not quite the gooseneck. It's a
Yeah, the
decorative
gooseneck
fixture,
was
but-
the older fixture. When I switched perspectives on Street View, it goes from 2019 to 2023, and you can see the current ones.
Can you show them that? Can you swing
Yeah,
your screen
absolutely. Let
around
me
it?
go
So we're
back
on the
to,
same page here. And we'll get the spec from
CMLP.
CMLP. Yeah.
And then just on this site plan, I know you've had conversations with CMLP and as far as turning movements for the gas truck and the garbage truck, but to that comment, whether transformer over in this location, and then you have trash, and this would be just the handicap parking space. Oh, but then that creates a problem. So this is where all of those things requirements, because the handicap parking space has to have like direct proximity to the building. So never mind.
And the power is coming from the northerly
Yeah,
side.
I think it comes off this
Yeah,
over
exactly.
here somewhere. Yeah.
Say it would be the closest, so if everything were, if trash and everything were next to the building, the next spot could be the handicap spot that meets the requirements.
So that's also gonna be where you're kind of loading, like when the trucks come in to unload,
Oh, it'd be this
Yeah.
backside, yeah.
they'll back there unload it.
Well, we'll
Work it out.
we'll work on CMLP to allow wraps on their transformers.
So were those the new ones that you showed me?
That's right on Google Maps, I don't know, just.
This
we
one
could go
here.
there.
Also, they changed it a little bit from that.
Yes.
It's not quite the
Yeah.
hanging over
Yeah.
gooseneck. It's
But the
it's
one
more
on
of a
our
pendant.
property is the goose, so. The one on the corner right now is the goose.
Is it still? Because
I don't think it is.
I think I might have
if
swapped
you're-
them out.
Yeah.
If you look at the date,
But we'll
that's
match what's there.
2019.
It's that one or if it's that.
Yeah, because this is.
They'll complement the upper lighting quite well in the building.
That's the point about
No.
continuing west.
Yeah,
of the-
we're-
I think they're the same as the ones in
Yeah.
Concord Center.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, he was saying,
Whatever.
it'd be 29.
If you go over
Yeah.
onto Laws Brook Road,
Yep, on the
it's a
facade.
2023 picture, and then you zoom in and you can see the new.
Whatever's there.
Do you consider planters on the sidewalk, since you have so much space between
Yeah.
the parking and the it was like one of the first.
Oh,
pictures you showed us.
between.
Yeah, exactly.
Like on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
So one thing just to be cautious about, that's ADA compliance. So you need to.
But-
be
Between,
yeah.
Mhm.
Where?
on the sidewalk between the posts.
And
Oh, yeah.
Like that. Like in.
Yeah, just like ones that big ones you would get for your house or something like that, or.
Like
Yeah.
pots, larger
Mhm.
pots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any green floral, it just makes such a difference. And I noticed there was some around the existing sign. Are you gonna do some plantings around that too?
We do have a planting scheme for that area.
So we don't realize, looking, we don't really have any like standalone signs. They're all like the ones that are like hanging outside on that nice rod that matches the streetlights. We don't have another sign like that in any, do we?
The other gas station on Main Street.
In Elm
has a
Street.
sign. Yeah,
Independent.
yeah, there's a few.
But if that's not done well, like it can really,
So that'll be part of their application.
yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's darling.
on the
What's Darwin?
to the Ford dealership. This is their site in Mendon.
Oh,
The animal.
yeah, I feel like the country
So
board
if you
doesn't.
get on there, can you pull up images there?
Yeah.
And just go to like anytime around October or Christmas or anything when all the pumpkins and stuff are out there.
We should call it a country store and vintage hardware.
So talking about that, we do actually have a big hardware section.
Yeah.
I'll set that.
But that's for saying things that would have been in the five.
In the 5 and 10, yeah.
That's what country stores were.
Yeah,
I
but
guess
I
it
think of the
doesn't capture
general
it for-
store, like,
yeah.
I don't know what a country store means, but when you say general store,
Well, there's a lot of natural soaps in there, that don't have all, the fragrances and stuff in them. There's,
Which you know,
Yeah.
next door to you
Yeah.
is the local.
I think Cracker Barrel.
Well, yeah.
fabricated-
yeah,
It's like what Cracker Barrel wishes.
Wishes they, okay, so I'm on the
It's
right
like what
track.
we all
Cracker
want. Me, but you know, yes.
Right.
You, yeah. Yeah, welcome.
yeah, thank you.
So we have just a couple things left for our agenda. Feedback from reaching out to the different committee chairs. I think, did you want to talk about what,
Sorry,
have you forgotten? Okay.
I'd forgotten,
Never mind.
I summarized it too in an email,
You
but now
did, you did. And then we
have to
need
reread
to
it.
approve our minutes from November and December. And Barbara, you sent them all around. Did you hear back from
Once.
people?
No, only from you. You said there were two little, somebody paid a nice compliment. That might have been Allison.
That was me.
But no specific comments about the content, no.
Okay, so can we just take a vote on whether we're going to approve those minutes? Because maybe people read them and didn't respond.
Thank you.
Every night.
Thank you for coming so well prepared.
Do you want to include the October one as well?
Yeah, so the October one, I thought that we voted on, but we can do it again because I think,
I
People-
don't think we could have.
okay, okay, so. Have people had a chance to review the minutes, first of all?
Yes.
Okay, so let's vote and see if we want to approve them to be submitted. So Barbara
Yes.
and John,
Are we in November right now?
Yes.
can we do them all together?
Yes,
Okay,
so long as it
all of them.
Okay, I wasn't like one of them, that's why I'm asking,
Okay.
so
doesn't matter.
it's better, okay.
John,
Yes.
So, did somebody move to approve
Oh,
the minutes as submitted?
I move to approve the minutes as submitted.
okay, John,
Did somebody second?
Well, I'll second it and then I'll vote yes.
Thank you.
thank you. Lindsay
Yes.
and Nicole, yes. And Linda.
Yes.
And Allison.
Yes.
And I'm yes too. Okay, good. So we're done with all of our notes for the year. Yay.
So I didn't ask them, what is the timeline on their project?
Oh,
I'm not sure. So, you know, the plans they have are, I would say they're more than conceptual. But I think they'll take everybody's feedback and, you know, probably apply, you know, I'm gonna say in the next few months.
Mm-hmm,
But I'm not entirely sure.
okay.
well then I think we could adjourn. Perfect. So
Thank you.
8:12.